And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. The place where truth prevails. Right? Write that down. What the hell are you doing in there this morning?
I'm writing down the place where truth prevails.
Write it down. Why did you screw the show up Friday?
Oh my God, I wasn't even here.
You put a short in that cable.
Oh.
You did.
You know, that's what I was doing. I put a short in the cable and I was sitting on the beach and I was thinking to myself,
No, the problem is poor Lonnie got the, Lonnie was all set up to have a knockout 2-hour show and there's no camera. And then we find out, well, there's a short in the cable from, it played last week. And, you were the last to put the cable up. And that's the rules around here. You're the last to put the cables up, so that means you broke it. And then Sam had to run up there in emergency and bail it out, and your ass is sitting on a beach somewhere.
I know. I trust me, I was with the whole ordeal.
All right. Look, folks, we've got we apologize for what did take place Friday with the delay of the show. Just plugged in the camera and didn't have our electricity. The good news is the cord went out, the short and the cord, and we were able to order a new one. If the plug-in on the back of the camera would have been bad, that was scary because that would be a hard thing to fix. So there is an upside. All right.
And for people that did miss, all those archives are going up today, doing a little catch up.
Okay. Yeah, always doing catch up. All right, folks, let me just say something before we get started. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show, 706-889-9700. Say that 3 times fast. Chief at FetcherNews.com. And stay tuned at 10 a.m. for Instant Replay with Dave Garner. Dave Garner's Instant Replay sports show, only live online sports show in North Georgia. Now, let me get to this. Israeli snipers kill Palestinians and more than 900 are injured as 35,000 protesters rally against today's U.S. embassy opening in Jerusalem following Al-Qaeda call for jihad. How come we didn't call for no jihad when we opened? I mean, so, a call for jihad. Al-Qaeda called for it, and there it is. Palestinian. Yasser, if you could have only been there, you'd be leading the way. People, they do not care about these Palestinians over there. They don't care about them. Not the Jews. I'm talking way for the Saudis and everybody. They don't care. They don't care. They're not trying to find the Palestinians a home. All right, here's the point. That will be the lead on the negative news networks. Will be Israeli snipers kill Palestinians as more than 900 are injured, over 35,000. That will be the lead of all the news. They will show you the Molotov cocktails that they're throwing. They will show you all the smoke. They will show you Israeli snipers shooting down a Palestinian. Look, here is what the protest is over. Not moving the embassy. If the embassy moved to Jerusalem without symbolizing a unified Jerusalem, without the United States recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital, you have Temple Mount, the Temple Mount, okay? The most holiest spots there where they have the Muslim temple there. Whatever it's called. I forget what the Muslims call their temple. Maybe that's what they call it. Temple Mount. You have, not going into too much history there, where also the destroyed temple that the Bible predicts will be rebuilt, and I say predicts, please don't get mad at me out there for the word predicts, will be rebuilt. King David's temple there on the holy ground there in Jerusalem. If Trump opens the door on this embassy, he is recognizing Jerusalem as a one city, not divided. capital of Israel within its borders, and that's what's freaking them out. That freaks them out is because they want Jerusalem divided, and they do not want Jerusalem to belong to Israeli. They say it belongs to them, the Palestinians and the Muslims. All right, so moving right along. All right, now President Trump gets up this morning. He says, okay, so we're going to open the embassy, all right? We've got the thing going with North Korea. What's next? What do we want to do next? Well, we have this Iranian deal. Now, let me say this about the You keep hearing the JCPA, okay? JCPOA. That's what you'll hear. Well, Trump and the JCPOA, they use the acronyms because they don't want you to know what it is. It is actually the Iranian deal, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, all right? Now, make sure it's understood something, okay? North Korea, I, for one, if I end up wrong, I end up wrong. I have hope. I really do. I have hope. I'm optimistic. I really feel it's that time. I feel that Kim Jong, I know what you're going to say. How many have they starved? How many have they killed? I know what you're going to talk about. You're going to talk about Otto Warmbier. I understand. I am with you. I know what else you're going to talk about. Whether, the poison needle dart to his half-brother that he killed. We don't know. Maybe his brother won the three-legged race at the, family reunion and, boom, he's got to go. I don't know. I'm just telling you. I know every negative they're bringing up. But something says this guy here, Kim Jong-un, wants to come to the United States. Oh, my God, you're shivering now. Really? Yeah. Now, we don't know where he will refuel to get here. But yes, we think he wants to take a Delta first class, Singapore straight to New York. Okay? I'm serious. This guy wants to go, and he wants his picture with him and all these people in the world. He's going to be a big guy. His people are they're not going to be hungry. They're going to have electricity. They're going to get a Chevy. I really think in my heart, optimistically, this guy wants to do this right thing. I'm just hoping. It's really hope. He's saying all the right things. He's not yelling death to America. I do know what you're going to say. The media says, well, when you go there, you actually see in North Korea propaganda for their people to see nuclear weapons that are actually attacking U.S. cities and the Capitol and blowing them up. Okay, fine. But this guy's not on there yelling death to America. He doesn't have his people set up to chant death to America. He doesn't have any big phony stage parliamentary meetings where they burn the American flag. Right now, this guy's not saying any of that. Period. He's saying, what do we have to do to make this work? Iran, on the other hand, let me look in the camera and let you know that there is zero comparison of the two. Zero. Iran has never changed the fact that they feel that Israel should not exist. Never. They have never felt, Iran, that America should exist. They have never changed at one moment, at one time, as John Kerry was making the crooked deals that he was doing. Oh, wait till we ever get those out, right? As John Kerry was making all the crooked deals and last-minute lies, remember you were reading the accounts in the media where Kerry and other State Department officials were asking the Iranians nicely, could you tamp down the death to America just for a day or two? Let's get the ink dried on here before you go yelling death to America, okay? We got to sell this to the American people. Never one day, get it clear, did Iran ever want to exist alongside of Israel. All they want is to continue, since this deal has been signed by Barack Obama in 2015, all they want to do, right? Periodly, and all they have done has continued to move their footprint through the Middle East, period. They are behind and involved in every conflict there is in the Middle East. Funding it, doing whatever militarily, Syria, the Palestinians here, you name it. The Iranians do not want peace. They have not slowed down their attempt and research to complete their nuclear facilities, their nuclear armament. Not 1 minute have they slowed down. They don't plan to. The only thing they did in 2015 is try to legitimize moving some of their money through currency, with their currency through banks. Period. And pulling out of the JCP, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, and President Donald J. Trump putting on sanctions. Now you see, the EU is not products. They don't care. Do the research of the back channel banks that Iran has used for years. Okay? We have sent the money. We have used 2015, 16, 17 to where we have sent the money through back channel banks where there's no penalties whatsoever. No penalties. And that is what, if you'll do the research, when President Trump says the sanctions are back on, this is what really has Iran steam. Is what we have done is we have allowed them, Barack Obama, we have allowed them to move money and funding all over through European banks, okay? No questions asked, which has allowed them to fund the terrorist activities, to continue to fund the battles in the civil wars, their footprint, the evil that they've continued all over this world. So when President Donald Trump says, hey, we're pulling out, and we're immediately putting all the sanctions back. We're going to look at all the sanctions. And financially, anybody you're dealing with, any of our allies. See, the European banks love that flow of cash. Oh my God, they love that flow of money. And that's what has mostly has the Europeans upset and has Iran upset, is the the flowing of two things: oil, and dirty money from Iran. Because if you think for 1 minute those secular Muslim countries in the European Union care 1 minute of what Iran's truly doing, you're badly mistaken. Because what they're mostly upset is, hey, Trump ends diplomatic relations with Iran. Trump says American businesses can't do, we're gonna shut you down. And if our allies don't within so many days comply with our sanctions, we're going to shut them down also. There's possibility in the works. The flow of oil, the flow of money, the EU. Don't think for 1 minute that these people care 1 ounce on whether if the Germans, the Brits, the French, the list goes on, cared, they would be over shoulder to shoulder with us, America, as we open our embassy today in Jerusalem. But they're not. Money, oil. Okay, let me move from that. I don't want to get stuck on that. Don't think, all I wanted to do is say, don't think for 1 minute the negative news network is going to tell you the truth. Iran does not care one bit about reducing their nuclear capabilities, and they're not trying to. Just, it's not happening. If you've fallen for that, it's not happening. Trump will bring, my worry is, and I know, Amanda, people don't like this, but my worry is that North Korea will get solved without any weapons of mass destruction being used. My worry is that that will not be the same in Iran. That's my worry. because Iran's not interested. They're not interested in making a real deal. There was never any interest in a real deal. The deal that they made, Iran made, was a way for them to trade oil and their currency, and that's all that deal was. And Barack Obama and John Kerry were complicit in it, and that's all the Iranian nuclear deal is a way they could move their currency and oil, period. Okay, now, I said I don't want to get off track. I said earlier, and we're going to talk about a lot more things as far as national events are going on. But in the state of Georgia this week, who will? So let's start at the governor's race. Then there was 3. So for those of you out there that are supporting Michael Williams, okay, or Clay Tippins, I don't want you to get so upset with me you never watch the show again, okay? I had some Ted Cruz supporters that got really upset with me during the primary because of not just my support for Donald Trump, my ability to see through all of the smoke and mirrors and the curtains back there that Trump would be the nominee. And that, but that being said, I don't want to lose viewers over this, but I just like to stay with the reality. As the governor's race goes, there is actual 5. There's 7 on the ballot that you will have to choose from Tuesday week, but there's only 5 that have been contestants, truly contestants, and I think it's really down to 3. I think Michael Williams will have to throw a Hail Mary to get national news, and so I would say whoever is out there that would throw the Hail Mary, it'd be Michael Williams, something outrageous. So Clay Tippins is out. I mean, he's just, to me, he's just out. I don't see it, don't feel it anywhere in his campaign. Michael Williams, I don't want to say is out, but he has to throw a Hail Mary. Now, he does, for those that get upset, he's done something that Tippins has not done. And we're going to see here, he has not endeared himself to rural counties. Now, Michael Williams has, and I'm going to say it like this, don't get mad, he has gone to, I have been to Republican meetings, Tea Party meetings, Georgia Republican Assembly meetings in North Georgia. I haven't traveled to South Georgia. Maybe we should go do a show down there. It's a nice 104 down there today, and they're trying to get the watermelons out of the field. So Michael Williams has done a good job going to these little meetings and spinning some yarn. Well, that's my opinion, spinning some yarn and getting some people to say, hey, he is the first guy to have said that he supported Donald Trump. Hey, he is against Atlanta. He is going to go and drain the swamp. So he does have some support. What it resonates at the ballot box and what it brings in as far as percentage. Now, Michael Williams could come away Tuesday, a week from now, maybe with some political power to say, hey, yeah, but I want to do this or I want to do that. Don't know, okay? But he's the guy that has to throw the long bomb. He is the guy that has to get on national news. He is the guy, he's tried everything to throw that bomb and nothing has landed, okay? Just, it's like a Kim Jong-un missile going in the air and just fizzling out, all right? So you have 3 candidates right now. You have Hunter Hill, Brian Kemp, and Casey Cagle. Now, Brian Kemp has thrown those long bombs. The last 2, I mean, he hit pay dirt on the last 2. He hit the Jake video where Brian Kemp hit the Jake video, and he said, hey, you know, you have to. There's 2 things you have to know: you respect and a healthy appreciation for the Second Amendment. Well, we'll get along just fine. He's got the guns and everything. It's called the Jake commercial. That landed him on Fox News. That landed him with the left as this bad guy in Georgia that's, you know, threatening a young man with a gun just to date his daughter. That got 100% effective, all right? I mean, when you're doing an ad, you want to know how effective is it? 100%. So he launches that one. He edges closer to Casey Cagle for that number 2 spot because there's only really 3 in the race, okay? Then he launches another bomb. He throws another one, okay? And this is my opinion watching it. He throws another bomb, Brian Kemp does, and it's another one lands for 100%. 98, not 96. He gets 100% mileage out of it. He's got a big truck, and he'll round up illegals himself and tote them back to himself, and I'll load them up myself, take them to the border if I have to. Yep, I said it. That's my new line. Yep, I said it. Right? That's what Brian Kemp said there. Yep, I said it. All right? Yep, I said it is a winner. It's 100%. Oh my God, the people are going nuts over that ad, either one way or the other. And if it's the opposite effect with the left, it is pushing conservatives his way. So Kemp is moving. He put that thing in a high gear. Now he has to run a week of high gear. I mean, can he top those 2 to get you to think about him next Tuesday? So can he get the trifecta? We'll see. That's Brian Kemp. He's pulling. But Casey Cagle cannot set aside, all right, and watch for 2 weeks that Kemp grabbed the headlines. Can't do it. So Cagle sends out this morning, I received this morning, and what I say at 8:20, I started the show out saying, who will throw the bombs this week, right? That this will be, I mean, you better watch everywhere you go because this is going to be political landmine week in Georgia. This came out this morning at 8:20. Casey Cagle, the leading conservative Republican for governor, said today that as governor, he'll answer President Trump's call to contribute National Guard troops to the border as part of Operation Guardian Support. So Cagle's coming out this morning. He'll send the National Guard to the border. While Kemp's just rushing down through there with a truckload in his F-250, he'll have the National Guard. I told you what I tell you this week. In our state, this is a quote from the Cagle campaign. In our state, we've led the nation in cracking down on illegal immigration, but we have just treated symptoms until we get the root of the problem, Cagle said. I've led the fight against sanctuary cities in Decatur and helped pass one of the toughest laws against illegal immigration in the country. But I share President Trump's frustration that the illegal border crossing continue. That's why, as governor of Georgia, I'll send the National Guard to bolster Operation Guardian Support. Operation Guardian Support has been supported by state National Guards from Mississippi and South Carolina, among others. Georgia is always ready to lead on issues that matter, Cagle said. Illegal immigration has undermined the rule of law, strained local tax resources. Wonder where he got that. Endangered communities. Finally, we have a president who recognizes the severity of the problem and is going to actually do something about it. Georgians want to be part of the solution. So, he's going to send the National Guard. I told you it's landmine week at the Hacienda Suites. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I mean, you better have your Hacienda Suites frequent overnight stay card for this week in Georgia because it's going to be everywhere you go. He is going to send the National Guard. So here's my thought in a whole, and I'll wrap this little segment up, okay? Cagle has come out of the box, and he spent some money he didn't want to, all right? But he came out of the box with some pretty tough sanctuary city ads on TV. But those ads that he came out of the box with haven't exactly, he's not exactly received any Fox and Friends invitations on Saturday morning like Kemp. He hasn't gotten the national Sunday morning talk circuit to go after him like they have Kemp, and he needs that right now. So we're waiting for an insider. Now, Hunter Hill, let's put Hunter up for a minute. Hunter's last ad that he's running, I watched it Sunday. If you watch the Sunday shows, which I do to keep up with the negative news networks, if you watch the Sunday show, you see which ads the candidates are running. And Hunter Hill is running the, I'm an Army Ranger and these two will never be able to get out of the swamp and keep up with me ad. My fear for Hunter, which I do like, okay? My fear for Hunter Hill is that he's stuck. His message is stuck. You've either received his message, accepted his message, and plan to vote for his message, or right now he's not moving the needle. That's my thought, is he's not moving the needle. So there is a battle in second place right now between Kemp and Hunter Hill. Why do people continue to ask me? Because I like Hunter Hill. I've met him several times. He was over here at Pool's Barbecue not long ago, and I sit down with him, one-on-one at the table, and we talk. Very nice man, okay? Conservative man. I like the guy. But people want to know, why do I feel that the Brian Kemp, Hunter Hill side by side, that Kemp would win? You have to understand, the state of Georgia, Georgians have seen Brian Kemp's name in a statewide ballot before, if I remember right, twice already for Secretary of State. So when you walk in, sadly enough, I'm going to go 90. I know you're going to get upset, but I'm going to go 90% of people that walk in to pull the trigger, pull the lever, cast their vote, whatever may make you feel good this morning. I believe 90% that go in to cast a vote actually do not know, and they see commercials or they have a mailer or something and they just heard somebody's name and they look up there and say, well, Brian Kemp, I know his name. Is there that percentage box that can move Kemp's way just because of that Hunter Hill needs? Yes. So I think Hunter Hill, as nice as he is, may be stuck. But let me tell you something. We're waiting for an Insider Advantage poll to come out this week. But here's Casey Cagle's problem. Very nice man. I spent an entire day with him 2 weeks ago. Very nice man. Okay, I'm not going down the road. Not going to get ugly. Very nice man. But here's his problem. He announced he was running for governor and supposedly had 40%. He has been running for governor and supposedly has 40%. Supposedly. He's only a little over a week out of ballots being cast, and except for the poll that we're waiting on this week, he still only has 40%. Now, I know what you're going to tell me is Casey Cagle could not expect to move. He couldn't expect to move in either up or down. Cagle would have looked a little... He's been 35, 37, 40. All right, I know. Well, Donald Trump, they kept saying that. No, I'm just saying. The guy hasn't moved the needle. Now, obviously, he probably can't move the needle north over 50 in this race. But if he comes out and he goes into... If the Insider Advantage poll says he's got 40, if the guy gets 38% of the vote, if he ends up next week with 38% of the vote, 36% of the vote, okay? 35%. We'll use a 35, all right? What does that mean in a runoff? That 65% did not support him. And can he move the needle over 50? I'm telling you, we will see, because he has the money to be aggressive. But it's Casey Cagle's race to win, and it's Casey Cagle's race to lose if he can't move that needle after this primary. Because somehow, some way, he's got to get his voters back to the poll. All right? And then he's got to get some of Mike Williams. He's got to get some of Hunter Hill's or Brian Kemp's. He's got to get some of Clay Tippin's. We'll see this week. Now, on the Secretary of State, on the Lieutenant Governor, okay, between David Schaefer, let me just use that one quickly and we're going to move on. Between David Schaefer, I don't have pictures. I think David Schaefer is the front runner, and I look for Duncan, okay, Jeff Duncan to throw a bomb this week, okay? I look for Jeff Duncan to throw a bomb this week to try to get over David Schaefer. So my prediction this weekend, bomb throwing, will be we see Casey Cagle's going to send troops to the border. We're ready to go. If governor, he's sending the National Guard. Who will throw the bombs in the Georgia governor's race this week, trying to get that last hope of that second coveted spot, and also lieutenant governor? Who will throw that bomb this week? I predict it'll be Jeff Duncan, trying to get the coveted second spot and make sure, even maybe try to get that 51%. I'm your host, BKP. Let's go to break, and we'll be right back.